Good morning from the top of the Alps. We are at about 3,000 meters at the moment. And today's video is going to be very special because today's video is all about not this, not me, not ellevant, but the German roamers. I convinced Daniel and Max to show us how they work, what they do, and what is most important to take great pictures in nature. And they will tell us, and if you look at them, they're already climbing rocks and everything over there and trying different perspectives, different angles. And it's, yeah, it was an early morning today. It's now 7 o'clock in the morning and the sun is up and there's no one here except for us and some strange goats and little beavers or something like this. I don't know, but let's go and find out what Max or Daniel are doing.
Look at that.
So this is the result from the photo. So basically why we choose this spot for the photo was the backlight, the glacier, and with a telelens you can compress the whole scene and getting this sort of scale which looks fantastic on a photo. What's your comment?
This, just no words for that. Look at that. Just look at that. Just enjoy the view.
Reizt es dich? An der Kante langlaufen. Sorry.
Ja, in die andere Richtung.
So ist perfekt, wenn du jetzt läufst einfach. Nein, in die andere Richtung.
Geh zurück. Nein, zurück.
Einfach in die
Weiter. Und dann wieder dahin.
Walkie-talkie.
Nicht rückwärts laufen.
Soll ich vorwärts gehen?
Ja. Jetzt zum äußersten Ende.
Soll ich vorwärts gehen?
Vorwärts.
Ja.
Geh. Weiter. Jetzt um 180 Grad drehen. Und jetzt wieder laufen. Yeah, how do we find the spots that we shoot? Like, how do we get away from the mass tourism?
Usually it's like you don't take the same path as the tourists go.
Yeah.
You usually go the other way around.
And the easiest way to make your photo stand out is to go on times where most tourists lie in bed or are at breakfast. So basically on sunrise and sunset. Sunrise is the most beautiful, but it's also the most uncomfortable time to shoot.
But it's always so worth to go out.
Yeah.
Always.
And this is the #1 rule to make your photo stand out, just with this special touch of light. And another thing is, like, you can see the Matterhorn right there, and we're gone the complete different way. So when most tourists come up here, they just see the Matterhorn and run for it. But I think it's really important to look around you and get to know the area instead of just focusing on the thing you already know on the internet. So it's basically the most important rules, like time and keep your eyes open to other things.
This lake, there's 2 lakes, there's actually 3. There's a big one, a small one, and the Matterhorn in the background. And the guys will now show you how to work with perspective in order to let things appear or seem bigger than they actually are. Because this lake over there, it's not that big.
I'm using a 24-70. It's like covers everything I need and gives me the most flexibility between wide angle and telephoto. So I think something like this is a good solution. Otherwise you could go into really wide angle, super wide angle. Might look cool too.
Yeah, right now I've got a super wide angle on it, the 12-24, which might be even a bit too wide, but it's a good solution to let the lake appear bigger than it actually is, because it's kind of a small puddle actually.
But
So
the
if you
downside
go-
is the Matterhorn will go smaller.
Yes, that's fine. So the further away you go with your lens, the wider it is, the smaller everything else appears in it. So that's why you could also go higher up and use a tether. So the Matterhorn will appear bigger, but also the lake will be smaller. So you have to find your style, or you have to find your picture, and then just frame it with the right lens. We're all in it anyways. I don't know if you can see it right now. You see the Matterhorn over there? It looks kind of small. So this mountain appears much bigger. And here you see the foreground. And we are in the shot right now, so it doesn't look really cool. But yeah.
So what's the plan?
I have to climb there and okay, walk. Idiot.
Take walk.
They want to place me on all these rocks to take pictures and I'm afraid of heights. You know? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of many things, but heights is really, when I look at this, is so fucking crazy.
Face your
It goes
fears,
like a
come on.
kilometer down
2 kilometers.
to the glacier. To the glacier, yeah.
Can you go there? And look really cool when you stand there.
You're doing it every day. That's your sexy moment.
Can you stand?
Stand?
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, stand.
You don't sit on mountains.
Come on,
Of course
stay.
you sit on mountains.
Come on, stay boy.
Oh guys, I really have to.
Yeah.
Hurry, yeah. We're hungry.
Can you get closer to the end?
No. No guys, seriously.
You look
You
so...
don't look cool.
I don't care. I really. Fuck. I feel so uncomfortable. Fuck, my heart is still beating. Oh, look at it. I think it only makes me human. That I have fears. And look, I can't look at it. It's crazy. On the other side of this stone, there's a drop a few hundred meters. Look. What the hell are they doing?
Oh! Boom! Hast du den Vogel gesehen? Der ist so einen Meter an deinem Kopf vorbei.
Ich hab nur einen Schatten gesehen.
Ja genau, so ist cool.
本日はゴンダフラト鉄道をご利用いただきありがとうございます。この電車はゼルマットまで各駅に停車いたします。
So we are now back in the hotel. It's already evening, and this morning the guys showed us how to compose a picture and how difficult it is to get to the point where to take a nice picture. On our way down, we were thinking about both of them finding or showing us one of their favorite pictures that they took and telling us something about the story behind the two pictures. When the conditions were perfect, and it's a very nice spot that they have been to. I don't know where your shot is, probably in Canada or somewhere.
Patagonia.
Patagonia, and yours in Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan, yeah. So I think it's best if Daniel tells us something about his favorite shot of last year, and maybe we can learn something.
Yeah, so this is my favorite shot of this year. It was taken in El Chalten, Patagonia, Argentina, and it shows the Mount Fitzroy during sunrise, and we had the perfect conditions. We were driving out of town, and it took us like 30 minutes until we were at this vantage point, and once we stepped back and looked around us, we saw the mountain covered in these clouds, but as soon as the sun came out, the clouds went down and revealed the scene, and we saw the first light of the day hitting the mountain. We had this perfect straight road going into the center of the image, and we had a little bit of fog on the horizon. Like there's a mountain, then there's a valley, and then there's the real mountain. So we had some fog into this valley, and that was basically my favorite shot for this year. Is my favorite shot for this year, because it shows just like this adventure spirit. Someone running down a long road with, like, you don't see the end, but you know where it's heading. You see the mountains, and mountains are always adventure, like the unknown, and that's why I placed him there, to give that whole place some sort of scale and some sort of relation to the viewer, because otherwise it would have been just a road leading into a nice background. So the viewer looks at this and he thinks, oh, I want to be that person running down the road at these conditions, and yeah, that's what it makes my favorite shot for this year. Like the foreground looks really calm. It's just a road leading through the desert, and it's not really spectacular. It's just two lines going into the middle of the photo. But when you look at the background, it's those sharp, rugged peaks, and they are going against this calmness in the foreground. So it's kind of a balance. It just shows how a road trip is, like how you experience it can have like down points, but on the other side you have a lot of like points where you're feeling so high and everything is so good.
Very philosophical.
Yeah.
It's quite different to what I usually do, and it's not as spectacular as Daniel's, obviously. But it was taken in for me the most emotional moment, or a super. I don't know. It was my favorite country, Jordan. Jordan was kind of my favorite country because it was so different to what I usually do, and especially in this moment, it was not a staged picture. He was there, getting the fire to burn, to make the tea, because it was a super cold morning. This Bedouin, I forgot his name, unfortunately. It doesn't really matter for the picture now. In this moment, everything came together perfectly, and I didn't take this shot on purpose. I was just going around and trying to find a nice angle to get the light on his face. You can actually see it a little bit. There's some fire in his eye, basically. The moment when the camel and this guy, the camel, what is his name?
Camel.
Drommel.
No, the guy who's carrying the camel.
The camera guy.
The camel guy. He was just passing by because he brought the camels that we are about to ride back to the village. And in this moment, everything just came together. And it was an overcast morning in the desert, which is not quite usual. And it was super cold. And this fire just made my heart melting. I don't know why. That's so romantic.
Why did he make the fire?
It's just super dry, kind of grass, little
Straw.
yeah, kind of stuff.
But why?
What you can
Tea or?
Yeah, for the tea over there.
Okay.
Because it was so cold, and we were always drinking tea in Jordan. Always black tea with tons of sugar. It was more sugar with some tea, actually. I loved it.
What I find really interesting is that I've seen some of your pictures, actually many, because you sent me a lot of them. And you're one of the few landscape photographers who is also doing a lot of shots of people. Like you've shown me some stuff that you did in Asia, and also this shot is one of the people focused shots. Yeah. And this reminded me more of National Geographic kind of photo style, you know what I mean? Rather than this very classical Instagram kind of style.
Yeah, I mean nature's great. Nature is the best, but it's all about the people as well, because the people makes the country great basically. You have these certain types and these certain color skins. You have the culture that, like, look at this what's the name
Scarf.
of that? The scarf around that. You would never see this in Europe or in Asia or in South America. You just see it in this region. That's why I love to take pictures of people as well that live in this place, because they make the place basically, and you feel the vibe. And this was basically the vibe that I felt in this country. It was warm, it was relaxing kind of. It was this tea that was so important to me for the whole trip, and the camels, which is so exotic, and it was just a desert. And because we were so unlucky with the weather all the time, it was an overcast trip basically. The whole picture combines the whole Jordan trip.
That's super cool. Thank you guys. Tomorrow we are off to St. Moritz, which is also in Switzerland. And tomorrow, although it's only 260 kilometers from here, it's going to be a 5 to 6, 7 hour drive. Because we don't want to go directly. We will take a few
And we get some
detours.
epic places.
Yeah.
And some really, really interesting places. The hiccups again. Really some epic places, and yeah, this road trip for the last few days until we leave the Alps and go to Munich. It will be about your work, and we will dive into nature, and we will dive into what the Alps can offer us as filmers and as photographers. So we hope you like it, and to dive a little bit into the world of an Instagrammer, and yeah. Do you want to say something? Goodbye or anything?
Good night for now. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Stay
Ciao, ciao.
Good night.
Bye.